When you are ready to download Kinetis Design Studio, you simply click here. What it will do is open up your web browser and allow you to go to this page where you can then click on Download. Before you download, you have to have registered. So what you can do is register here, and once you've done that, you can come back here and actually type in your information and sign in. Once you've signed in, you will be allowed to download one of these different versions of Kinetis Design Studio. This one here is for Debian Linux, which is really Ubuntu. These are for other versions of Linux. There's a version for the Mac, and this is the one we're going to download for Windows. Once you agree to the licensing agreement, you can start your download. Now, we just have to click on this, which is the actual Design Studio, and we're just going to say Save File. So we can just open this up and see how long it's going to take to download. And when it is, we will then be able to start the installation part of the process. Once it's downloaded, we can simply just double click on this and follow the prompts. Now it may say the publisher could not be verified, but we're going to trust it and say run. It's going to do preparing to install and go through the rest of the setup process. Next, we're going to get to the Welcome to Kinetis Design Studio Setup Wizard. We're just going to say next, and we're going to say next again, and we're going to say next again, and install. Now if you have trouble installing, you may have a previous installation which will have to uninstall and then reboot Windows. And eventually you'll get to, would you like to install this device software? Now Jungle connectivity is for the various drivers you're going to need, so we're going to say install that. And again, we're going to say install again. So everything it's going to ask you, do you want to install, we'll definitely say yes. Now one of the things that you want to do once it's installed is to pin it to Taskbar. So I'm just going to click on our Windows Start button. We're going to go up to Kinetis Design Studio 3. We're going to right mouse click and we're going to say Pin to Taskbar. And you can see that just as I did that, it created it over here. Now let me just back up a little bit. And I'm just going to click on that and it's going to launch Kinetis Design Studio. Now one of the things that we zoom in a little bit here, what you're going to see is it's going to always have a Workspace Directory that's going to be c:\users, your name, and workspace.kds for Kinetis Design Studio. So we're just going to say OK, and I'm just going to back up as this thing launches, and we're going to see that it's going to fill up the whole screen with an IDE. And sometimes Windows is going to say it's block some features, but just allow access, and let's assume that everything's fine for now. Now this is our default screen that we're going to get of the C++ and so forth. Now if we look up at the top here, we have three views: C/C++, hardware, and debug, and these are different looking screens. If we go to hardware, for instance, and if I back over here, it will actually bring up a processor here which we'll be able to configure graphically. And if we slide back over here, it also has a debug screen that we're going to get used to that's going to allow us to look at variables, set breakpoints, and so forth. So now that we've had a rough idea of what Kinetis Design Studio looks like, let's just shut it down and continue on with our course.